High five. Come on. Good boy. Let's do it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Today, I'm getting ready to head out on my first deer hunting trip of the year, and I am super excited. If you didn't already know, our deer tour collection is live. We've added a bunch of cool new stuff this year. We'll have more stuff coming in the next few weeks. And our merchandise program is the best way that you guys can help support our channel, and it keeps the deer tour rolling. So we really appreciate it. If you're interested in ordering something, head over to thehuntingpublic.com. You can use code Hayden. That'll save you 10% on your order. I got my truck loaded up. Gonna be meeting up with Aaron, Brett, Nick, and my dad's gonna be joining us as well. I've been hunting with him opening weekend ever since I've been hunting. It's been a tradition of ours, so I'm happy he's able to join us this year again. It'll be nice having him in camp. Hopefully we can get eyes on some bucks. We've got a few days to scout before the season opens up, and then we'll be after them. So I'm gonna finish up here and I'm gonna hit the road.
Greetings.
It's nearly time. Nearly time, boys.
I wish today was time because this weather's great.
I've been fighting the cold for 2 weeks. Been averaging about 3 hours of sleep a night.
Ooh.
Wild game, frozen.
Ooh, perfect.
You can tell.
Like this.
Welcome. Howdy.
How's the drive?
Good. He's a married man. Look at him. Good to see you.
Yeah, congrats. I haven't said that since I've seen you.
Yeah, the same one on almost.
Dude, hey.
What's about?
Come on.
Marriage.
Come on now. You're next, buddy. Got a couple challenges facing us here on this hunt. The weather right now, we've got the tropical storm that's coming up. So it's all east winds, south winds, very stagnant weather. So I'll be interested to see how the deer move in the next few days. Back at home, they've been moving pretty good. And the situation that we're gonna be in is a lot of open country. You're gonna have to get elevated to look down in these little holes, these little thick pockets where these bucks are bedding.
Ragweed and velvet leaf and stuff that
Yep, it's thick.
it's gonna be hard to see them moving through it. But if it's a big buck, you should be able to see their tines moving through it,
I would
think.
think so. I mean, it's about J high,
Yeah,
most of it.
most of it.
And we're gonna be on the glass a lot until we can find what we're looking for. And then the plan is to dive right in there and try to kill them, either immediately or within the next few days.
Many offensive linemen. 19-year-old Wisconsin freshman Derek Jensen said,
Did it break?
Just broke the Allen wrench off inside of there.
I was
Oops. It ain't going nowhere. I got that thing tight.
You might just leave it.
Two-time All-State
Found a couple spots that were definitely interesting. We got one more night of observing, and then we'll be after them tomorrow. I think we'll get our gear all situated today, sharpen up some broadheads, shoot our bows, and fix up our gear and get back out and do some more scouting. Well, it's the second evening of scouting. Finally ended up getting up in a tree as soon as I got set up. A big mature buck and a doe stepped out right where I was hoping they'd be. Still just feeding in the corn over there. I don't know where the doe went, but we still have an hour of light left, so real good sign. We got at least one buck to go after, and he's a dandy. Ended up having, I think it's 5 does and that one really nice buck come out. Been watching them for the last hour, just seeing how they move, trying to think of a game plan of how I'd go about hunting them. They're pretty close, so I'm gonna wait till they're a couple 100 yards off and then get down. If that happens in the next 5 minutes, I'll get down. There's a couple does that are still within 100 yards, so hopefully they ease off soon, and then we're gonna get out of here, head back to camp, and see what the rest of the guys saw.
Just now getting around to doing an update. As soon as I got up here, I had a real nice buck come by me at about 45 yards. He's still right out here in front of me, behind some brush. And 3 does and 2 other little bucks have just come out in this little field with him. They're all right behind this tree right here. It's a good start.
Watched them the entire time I was up in the tree, from the moment I got set up to when I got down. I mean, I waited. As soon as he got out of sight, I got down.
He's a good day 1 shooter.
Yeah, I'd
or
say.
10 or 11 or
So is yours.
fourth day shooter.
We got 2 shooters.
Do you think he's in a good spot though?
Yeah, he's in a real good spot.
They'll know we're hunting them soon enough. Seems like they don't quite yet.
No, they don't know yet.
Any luck for you?
I've been doing this all night. Eating cough drops, and during the next county, you're gonna hear me over here hacking.
Quinn, starting quarterback, got hurt in the first
Hey,
quarter.
well, that's what I heard. But they weren't sure why he went home.
But Arch Manning's got 4 touchdowns.
You're living your best life right now.
I'm having a great time. I mean,
It's Saturday night, horns are on, and Nick's got a Miller Lite. I mean,
if I was doing any better, there'd be 2 of me standing right here.
I tried doing an interview in the tree a while ago, and I couldn't get through it. Coughing too much. Hot enough that all my cough drops are melting in my pockets. Bear with me, because I've been fighting a cold for what seems like a month. Hayden says it's been years at this point. A cough drop in, otherwise my cough's gonna run this whole long. Situation we're in, it's warm, just real stagnant conditions, like the same wind for a week straight. Me and Brett scouted here in the middle of the summer a couple days, saw several nice bucks, but a lot has changed since we were in here scouting. It's gotten a heck of a lot thicker. That's going to be tough to be able to see into some of these holes, but the plan has been to scout, eventually find a buck, and then go after him here. Hayden's got a good plan in the morning, because last night we split up. We went into a couple different areas, and we ended up seeing several bucks. So we're going to get right in there where we saw those bucks when we were scouting last night and see what we can do with them. In the meantime, Nick's going to be watching his football over here.
Horns are on, baby.
Horns are on, let yourself in.
Let yourself in.
Use Indigo Mag, available at thehuntingpublic.com.
There's a deer, several deer. Eating acorns. Flat tire. Oh, it'd help if I put my tent down. It's the first morning. It takes a few days to work all the kinks out, you know. Okay. Ready to roll. I was like, I heard this weird sound. Like, what the hell is that? Sounds like a flat tire rolling around. No, it's just my tent. Just my truck tent. It's been driving down the road for a few miles with the thing standing up. Foolish. It's 4 a.m. Me and Brett are going to a spot that is real close to a road. When we scouted here in the summer, there was deer coming out of this little patch of thick crap and crossing this road in the evenings. I think I also one morning filmed a buck go back in here. That was back in June. And the other night we saw a big buck out in this field. They came out of that same bedding area. I'm hoping that they're all still right in there though. We're gonna give this bedding area a try. That's why we're here so early. The plan is good. The problem is that I can't stop coughing. So I don't know how this is gonna go. I mean, it's dead calm right now. As soon as I get out of this truck, deer are gonna hear me from half a mile away. There's a barn owl. Here we go. We're headed to field. You ready, Walker? Real fresh. Bedded right here. Something rubbed it. See what I mean? Right there on that stem. They've been in here, boy. That's fresh, just in the last few days. Set up a good 45 minutes before daylight. Got a little breeze picking up, which is good. Me and Brett just picked a spot on the map, and we just went straight to it and climbed up in a tree.
basically walking through just monotonous creek bottom. There's a hard transition right here where it goes from open creek bottom to like thick grass and weeds and stuff right along the edge of this field. And these deer, I think, have been bedding on the inside edge of that thick stuff. It ain't but about 20 yards wide, but that's where that nice 10-pointer came out of 2 nights ago. We're set up, I mean, you might be able to even see a little bit of that field from where we're at, where he was feeding the other night.
We should have plenty of time.
Yeah.
By the time we get to the parking lot, it'll be just under 2 hours to get in there and set up. I think that should be enough. Hopefully. First time of the year though, so it usually takes longer than the rest of the times. Here's my turn. Oh, what is that? Another undulate.
Strapping up for the first time this year. I was worried I was going to forget my bow this morning after going out so many times without it. Alright, well, it's finally opening day. Been spending the last couple days doing some observing and got eyes on a buck that I think was bedded within 100 yards of where we're set up this morning. We got in here super clean this morning. We had really good access. Just used some of these ditches to walk in and don't think we spooked any deer. There was a couple does that were in this timber when we walked in. They kind of milled around for 15-20 minutes and we just let them ease off. And we set up right where they walked through, hoping that the buck I saw 2 nights ago does the same thing. A little bit foggy this morning, but it seems like it's starting to burn off. We can see a pretty good ways down here, so even if we don't get an opportunity, hopefully we can learn something and put a plan together for the evening. Let's see a deer. Yep. I think it's a buck too. I lost it though. Dang it, I couldn't tell what it was. I just caught a glimpse of it. It's just getting daylight and we can kind of see that field out there that them deer were in the other night. And I got little holes in the trees where I can see, and I looked out there and there was a deer standing there, so I whipped my binos up. I could tell it was a buck, but I just don't know how big, and then I saw it move to the left. It looked like a pretty dang nice buck, but I saw it for half a second. What? Just keep watching. Maybe you'll get another chance to film it here in a minute. Coons or something. Yeah, bunch of coons. We just had a car drive by. Right after they went past, Brett looked behind me and saw a deer down in these woods. We did not get much footage of it. I can't really even tell in the camera if it's just one deer or 2 deer, but I'm pretty sure I can see a rack on it in the viewfinder. You guys will know by now because you're watching the footage, but when we're looking at it on the camera, we're looking at this little bitty viewfinder, so I'm assuming he was out in that field where I saw him earlier. I'd say it's the same deer. When that car come down the road, he bailed off in these woods. He was headed that way, but he wasn't spooked. Got a mosquito right there on your face, just biting you. Yeah, you got him. I got some theories. You want to hear about them? Yeah. I think when they're in situations like this where you got lots of open, like grassy, weedy cattails, I think when they bed in those situations like that, wind gets them up and moves them. The way I think about it is if they're laying down out and all that crap and it's dead calm like this, they can hear something coming from 100 yards away. Yeah. But as soon as that wind starts blowing out there, their senses are compromised. They can't hear nothing. Like in a cattail marsh. If it's dead calm like this, you hear a deer coming from 200 yards. But if the wind's blowing, you know, the deer's trying to survive out there in its bed. It's got to stand up and be like looking around, moving around. That's my theory. You certainly kill them when it's dead calm, but I'd much rather have wind. That buck we saw a while ago was right out in that bottom, working right to left, up into that bedding area back in there. The fields where they're feeding at night are out here to the right. Brett filmed them go right up through there. I mean, there's a creek over there 300 yards away, but that's the only real good patch of thick bedding. Good chance they come right back down through that open bottom this evening. It's a little after 9:30 now. They're waiting on the day winds to pick up, but unfortunately, as they're picking up, they're blowing the opposite direction of what was forecasted and straight towards where we are thinking that buck's probably bedded. So probably give it 5 to 10 more minutes. If that keeps happening, we'll climb down and head back to the truck, go get some breakfast at camp, and hopefully he is in that bedding area and he didn't smell us and comes out and does what he did 2 nights ago. Wind is just a finicky thing. Forecasts do one thing and then does this exact opposite. It's just been going back and forth all morning too. It hasn't been much, but as it's picking up, it's starting to be consistently bad. I still think there's a chance like he pops into this timber at some point in the middle of the day. This oak tree right behind us has been dropping acorns all morning. Yeah, let's get out of here so we don't booger them up, and hopefully we can get on them tonight.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
Get some food.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get it to us my arm.
Hopefully Warb's having some luck. Deer hunting. That's what you do. That's what we live for. Man, it feels good to be back in a tree, doesn't it? Oh, man. I can't wait to get in a tree again. I can't wait to just climb up in a tree and just sit there and stare at the bark for 4 or 5 hours at a time. Me and Brett are gonna climb down. Pretty quick here. And I can't quit coughing. So, might come back in. Somebody might be back in here to hunt those deer though. That buck that we seen earlier.
You'll have that on these big jobs.
Let's find the hole.
It's flat.
Ah, I got it. It's right here. Nail. Yeah, it's actually in the perfect spot. You don't even need a jack.
You can just plug that, huh?
Yep. Well, we made it back to camp. Nick cooked us up some breakfast, and we're getting some work done now. Nick and I didn't have a very eventful hunt this morning, but Warb and Walker had a pretty good hunt. They saw 2 bucks, one a definite shooter. So Walker and I are gonna dive in there after those bucks tonight. Still have pretty warm, stagnant weather, so not ideal conditions, but we got a pretty good idea where that buck went and bedded. So hopefully he takes the same path out that he took in and comes by in range.
Walker, you gonna make a hunt or?
Holy.
It ain't hard.
Ain't hard. Did you seriously not get enough sleep last night? It's his second nap today.
Oh, please, that first one was 30 minutes.
Yeah, right.
It's a nice tent.
Yeah, Warb gave it to me.
A North Face tent.
And this nice sleeping pad in here.
I told you he likes you better than me.
Sure there wasn't nearly anybody. It didn't seem like anybody went out this morning, but I feel like this evening there's going to be some pressure.
Yeah. Yeah,
At least I hope
Warb
not.
and I saw one truck, and it honestly probably kicked those deer to us.
Yeah, it went way smoother this morning than I expected. Usually that first climb of the year, you don't know where anything is. And
Today with Warb was my first one in the dark
yeah.
that I've had in a while, so that was good.
Dusty.
Alright, Walker and I finally landed on a spot. Tried to get up in this tree, that didn't work. Thought about trying to push forward a little bit, and the sun was just blasting down on me. So I decided to just come on this side of the tree where I'm in the shade a little bit, and then stay below this bush line so I can draw. Because if he does what he did the other night, he's going to be coming pretty much straight at us. Coming from the right, I can draw, and when he pops in that lane, I'll be able to get a shot. At least that's the hope. Got about an hour from when he popped out last time, but there's a lot more wind today. We saw doe and fawn already. So there's a chance he could pop out anytime, but he might not be there. We were talking about how the day I saw him, there was a lot of cloud cover and there wasn't a lot of sun. I think he was bedded in this ragweed out here. But with there being a lot of sun, he may have pushed back into some timber where it's a little cooler. But hoping he still makes that same route, or we can at least get eyes on him so we have an idea of other places he's hanging out. But my dad's off in the same place he was this morning, so hopefully at least one of us gets eyes on a mature buck. It's probably that long. Get back in here. She doesn't blow. She came to like 8 yards maybe. Yeah, I could hear her. Right before I turned and looked and saw you were filming that way, I was like, she's right here.
Kind of put a little pressure on that buck, but I'm sure he's going to still be somewhere in that general area. And then the other one that you and Warb saw this morning, we don't know what happened with that because there's other guys in there hunting. So probably worth checking out again at some point. But for now, we're going to go back to camp, get some food, and let's go see what everyone else saw and talk about tomorrow.